Hi guys, Beth here, aka Mediagirl94 if you haven't already read the title or seen the thumbnail before clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be explaining to you guys why in my eyes Animal Crossing, in particular Animal Crossing New Horizons, is the best cozy game ever created. Now, Animal Crossing as a whole has amazing games across the franchise, but for me, New Horizons switch things up. Yes, I used a switch pun. Tom Nook, are you proud of me? You can't talk, you're a teddy bear. I'm going to be spotlighting certain games across different genres and franchises on the channel in future videos, which I think, deserve the spotlight. And today is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Before we begin, if you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified of when I upload on this channel. Enough rambling, let's just talk about Animal Crossing New Horizons and why it's the best cozy game created. Let's go back to March 2020. No one expected the world to shut down, but it did. And in this shutting down came a game, Animal Crossing New Horizons, where you set up on a deserted island for a getaway package, and you have to build a really cute community full of lovable animal villagers and a certain Tom Nook watching your every move. This game became an instant escape to millions of people. Just look at the game sales and the continued game sales, and I was included in those millions of people that played it. Animal Crossing games have always been in real time, so you have to play morning, afternoon and night if you want to catch all the bugs and the fish. Now I'm going to tell you my story. I would have loved to put hundreds of hours into terraforming the perfect island and dreamy hunting. Unfortunately, I wasn't furloughed like a lot of people during the pandemic. I still had to go to work on a daily basis because I worked in the one place that stayed open the whole pandemic. That's right, I worked in a supermarket. It wasn't easy. Every day I was so stressed. I worked so much overtime, I ran my body down along with a lot of other staff. Personally, I was in charge of rice, pasta and tins, and there wasn't a single shift that went by where a customer took pity on me. I took so much verbal abuse. I just had to smile through it because the customer was always right. And this gave me really bad anxiety and a little bit of depression. So on my days off, I did not want to get out of bed. I would only get out of bed, to go to the bathroom, and I had to be forced to eat by my housemates because I was just so down. But then I could pick up my Switch and play Animal Crossing. Along with all the built-up stress and anxiety, I developed insomnia, which meant I played this game a lot in the early hours of the morning, because I actually developed a nerve condition in my hands and my body where between 1 AM and 5 AM my whole body, from my fingers to my toes, would just tingle. And so I couldn't sleep, so I was playing Animal Crossing, to try and get out of my own head. And after countless trips to the hospital over 2 years, this all is relevant to why I believe Animal Crossing New Horizons is the best cozy game created. On my days off, I would play online and interact with random strangers on the internet, along with my best friend Charlie and sometimes her partner Nick, who lived in a different part of the city, so we couldn't meet up. Now, here's the great thing about New Horizons is the community. Oh my god, so many people wanted to show off their amazing islands that this beautiful community was formed, and island themes were created along with beautiful Pinterest posts, and design codes were posted left, right and centre. Name me one other community that was so welcoming to new players while giving veteran players something to strive towards. I have 2 islands. My OG island, which I still have to this day, is called Liverpool. Yes, I know, very unoriginal, but in the spur of a moment it was name your island, and I was Liverpool. And my second island is on my Switch Lite. Now this has actually gone through a number of restarts because I constantly change up the theme. However, my most recent island is called Everdark. Now, there is a reason why I brought up this amazing community, and not only did it help me on my days off, but it helped me when I was on my work breaks. I would get half an hour break away from the shop floor, away from dealing with like customers and like the verbal abuse, so I would sit in the canteen, you know, playing my Switch. And one day a colleague came up to me who I knew but I didn't really talk to, and she was like, "Oh, I also play Animal Crossing. Do you want to play together?" And so it became an escape on our breaks where, you know, we would just play, we'd have our Switches, we would trade DIYs, we would like rank our least favourite and our favourite villagers, and we would just become so immersed in the game, sharing tips and tricks. It was a lovely escape from the hell that was outside. Over the first year of the game's release, more and more colleagues were like, "Oh, we also play this game." And so we developed like our own little community within like my workplace. We had our own WhatsApp group where, you know, not only did we talk about the islands or exchange like our turnip prices, but it became a place to talk about our problems. I could go in there and I could say, "Oh, okay, this is what my turnip price is," but I also had like a really negative experience with a customer, and I knew I had people there who would listen, and it was just very nice. But the cherry on top came when one of my favourite managers who had worked at Sainsbury's, who'd worked in the shop since the shop opened, he's no longer there, they moved him to another shop now, he came up to me and a colleague on the shop floor when we were stocking the shelves once the shop had shut. And I don't even know what we were talking about. We were talking about something on our island, and he went, "Excuse me, girls. I can't help it over here, but do you guys play Animal Crossing?" He's like, "My girlfriend plays it, and I've just bought myself a copy." And we were just there like, "Come to the fold, Andrew. Come to the fold." And he joined the WhatsApp group, and we all pretty much came together to help him in like the early days of his island. We bought him like all the fruits, we bought him flowers, like DIYs, we gave him all our like tips and tricks. And that's what was beautiful, is that these people that I worked with, that, you know, some of them I interacted with, some of them I didn't interact with, we had this common purpose, and it was just so nice, and I have so many fond memories. Even though the pandemic isn't really over in 2022, but most restrictions have lifted around the world, and I don't really play as much with like my work group anymore, but you know, from time to time, you know, we still do update the WhatsApp group, and we do still occasionally talk about like turnip prices. I'm never going to forget those memories because, oh, we had some hilarious moments. I could post some of the memes that were in that WhatsApp group, but I'm not going to. So that is my argument why Animal Crossing is like the best cozy game. Cozy games are supposed to be relaxing. You're supposed to be able to like switch your mind off. There's nothing like tedious about it. And for me, Animal Crossing New Horizons ticked all these boxes. Oh, don't get me wrong, I did have small gripes with the game like a lot of players, for example like the lack of updates, but I never once time skipped on my OG island. I can't say the same for like my second island that had a lot of time skipping. I like to play the game in real time and just enjoy the flow, and it was like a more natural experience. A lot of people will say like the first week of Animal Crossing New Horizons probably has like the best music, and it is just so down to earth because nothing really happens and it's like a really slow grind. I'm not against time skipping, but I definitely recommend, especially the early days, you know, taking your time, and then if you want a time skip, wait until after everything has opened. Animal Crossing New Horizons is definitely going to be a game in the franchise that a lot of people talk about for years, and personally I can't wait for the next game in the franchise, but for me, I've got very fond memories, as I keep saying. In the comments below, tell me if you agree or disagree with like my thoughts and opinions on whether or not Animal Crossing New Horizons is the best cozy game ever created. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion here on the channel, and trust me, a lot of you guys are very opinionated. I know that. It's the internet, but let's start a conversation. You know, did you play Animal Crossing New Horizons, or do you prefer another game in the Animal Crossing franchise, or even name your favourite cozy game in the comments. Yes, let's just wrap this up before I continue to ramble. If you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking a like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. At the end of this video, you can check out my last 2 videos or playlist depending on what mood I'm in when I'm editing this. Until next time, I'm Beth. Keep playing cozy games like Animal Crossing New Horizons. Goodbye. Tom Nook, say goodbye. Yeah.